Hello and welcome back to the channel and welcome to day 17 of Crummy's Christmas Countdown. It's another one. I can't keep explaining every day how much I'm amazed about how quickly we're getting through December. It's flying. It's absolutely flying. I'm back in the OG shirt, the one that's by far too big. Now, I did actually get our washing machine broke last week and we've only ever had a washer, never had a dryer. Now I have a dryer, which means maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to shrink this down a bit because, well, I'm not a svelte gent, but that, my friends, is a bit too much. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's find out what beer is behind door number 17. And there we have it, quite a large bottle. It's only 500ml, which looks like a big bottle. It's slightly narrower and taller than most. From Saltaire, called White Christmas. It is a Christmas festive beer, but it is a pale ale. So most festive beers tend to lean on the darker side, as is the time of year and all. But not this one. This is a citrusy pale ale, I believe, from the description on the front. As I said, from Saltaire up in Yorkshire. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. I've had one beer from Saltaire before and, well, I was going to review it. I ended up wanting a lager. The only one I had was theirs. It was their Helles, I believe. And I was a bit underwhelmed, if I'm honest. But let's hope they can bring it back today. So before we get into it, here is a quick look at the bottle. Are we going to focus today? No, we are not. We're going to have to lean that. There we are. So, Saltaire White Christmas Festive Citrus and Spice Pale, 4.8%. Pretty tidy looking label, if I'm honest, quite modern. Normal info on the back there, quite a lot of info on there, so we'll get into that later. But there we have it. Let's do it. Was a bit of smoke off the bottle. Nice golden looking beer, it has to be said. Okay, I'll be honest, actually looks like a lager in the glass. Shed loads of carbonation. Light golden hue, straw coloured, as always, a bit lighter in reality than it is on the camera. Solid one finger closed kind of small bubble white head on it. It's absolutely going for it, this beer. Can you see? Carbonation is furious, properly furious. This is a percolated glass. I remembered the term for once. And yeah, don't know, it'll be interesting. Maybe we're losing too much carbonation with it stood there. Maybe it's the wrong glass, who knows, but we'll find out. Aromas, fresh, crisp. I'll be honest, not that far off lager territory. It's got that slightly drying, crisp aroma I anyway associate with more Eastern European lagers. It's got a touch though of citrus, but it's slightly soapy. But it's only minute as well. There's not much of it. It's just a hint of something extra. Had I not been told what it is, I'd have said this was a lager in a glass, and I would have assumed that glass had been cleaned with a citrus cleaner. So, anyway, let's get on with it. Let's find out. Cheers. Merry Christmas. Other than being all over my moustache, that is not a bad beer, but not what I was expecting. It's super crisp, super clean. It retains a lot of that lager dimension, but there's more bitterness in there. There's more acidity. There is more citrus fruit on the flavour. But a decent malt bill as well. But it's not getting away from that slightly soapy edge. That's interesting. That soapy touch is something I've experienced in a few beers now. Some of them have been citrus infused to some degree, but some of them haven't. So I'm not actually sure whether it's a citrus thing that I just don't get on with, or whether it's actually a just kind of coincidence that there's an issue with some beers that shows itself as being kind of like fruity soap flavour, but is actually something completely unrelated. I don't hate it. It's not very strong. It's just I'm getting some minor flashbacks. Okay, but the malt was good. This is very yin and yang. Part of it I'm really not keen on. Part of it Very, very nice. Top to bottom taste test, only way we're going to sort this out. So, initially, highly carbonated, but not aggressive. It just, the tash thing, this head is just not going anywhere. I say super carbonated, but not aggressive, just lots of like little bubbles on the front of the song. Bit sweet. Next phase. I'll be honest, I've lost all focus there because I was just thinking about how good the conditioning is on this beer. That head's not going anywhere. It's super slick, that head. Really just sits really nicely in the glass. Just, it looks like a solid pint, doesn't it? Anyway, that's in its favour. Nearly dropped it. Back to it. That next phase, the bitterness really starts to come in, creeps in almost instantly and kind of washes your way back with it. At that point, you're really thinking, this could be quite a difficult beer to get on with, not an easy drinker. But on the swallow, that cuts out completely. You get that very refreshing, clean, initial kind of sensation that you get with a lager or pilsner. And then you get a burst of citrus, bit lemony, bit orangey, but with it comes this slight tide of soap, if I'm honest. It's slight, it's not huge, it's just niggling at the back there, and I'm not sure what it is, it's a bit odd. And then on the aftertaste, just as you think that slight oddity with the citrus is too much, you get this nice, I wouldn't call it biscuity malt, but nice fresh bready malt actually is where it's at. Just seeping through, it's not strong, but it is there and it is solid. It has some absolutely great points, this beer. It's just that soapiness I'm struggling to get over. So I'm going to set this down for a minute, take a look at the bottle, and then we'll revisit it. So, Saltaire White Christmas, Festive Citrus and Spice Pale, 4.8%. It says White Christmas, a refreshing, lightly hopped pale infused with orange peel and coriander seeds for a deliciously festive twist. Now, before I carry on, that's interesting. I really enjoy coriander seeds in beer normally. However, I am of the predisposition that coriander tastes like, well, soap and metal to me. So I wonder if maybe that's starting to seep through. I don't normally have an issue with it, but it seems a hell of a coincidence. It goes on to give descriptions in several other languages, and it says contains malted barley, oats, wheat, malted rye. Oh, it's quite a lot of different malts in there. And I think that shows, to be honest. It's quite complex in the malt bill. It says Saltaire Brewery Limited. They are in Shipley, West Yorkshire, saltairebrewery.com. It says drink responsibly, store in a cool, dark place, 4.8%, 2.4 UK units in this bottle. It says beer done right. I'm going to say beer done almost right for me on this one. It's I want to like this, to be honest. This is actually, I think, more promising a beer than the previous one I had from them. This is a supermarket buy, by the way. Get this in Morrison's in the UK, at least. It's where I got it from. And it has a good, solid, really, base that is somewhere between a pale ale and a proper bready lager for me. And I quite like the citrus hit, except for that little soapy bit at the end. It's just ruining it for me, which is a shame. It really is a shame. Right, let's see if it's changed at all. On the aroma, everything's dropped down, dropped back, got a bit more complex, a bit more grassy, a bit more spicy. Interesting. On the flavour, that first sip suggests I may have acclimatised to it a minute. Let me just give it a swirl. No, as soon as you swirl it around, it all comes floating back. Seems to be something about it getting mixed with the oxygen, because it's now back on the aroma as well. I suspect it has to be the coriander, and as a result, this is just not for me. But if you're not that way afflicted and you really like coriander in all its forms, I actually think this is a fantastic beer, to be honest. I'm surprised. I had significant doubts, and well, the thing that I ended up not liking about it is a thing that's kind of out of their control. It's just a particular predisposition that I have. So hey, can't win them all. But do I recommend you try this? Yeah, if you fancy a Pale Christmas beer, absolutely worth a go, and not all that expensive either, so win-win. And that really is all I have to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it if you haven't already subscribed, if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you tomorrow for day 18. Cheers.